It's the home of the Suns here in Phoenix, Arizona, as 2K Sports brings you today's live action from the U.S. Airways Center. This is 2K Sports bringing you the NBA. I'm Kevin Harlan, calling the action with my broadcast partners Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Now let's check out the State Farm starting lineups. And guys, checking out Pekovic here. What can we expect from him?
Well, Pekovic is really a bruising player, Kevin, kind of old school. He's 6'11", 290, but he's got a good feel for the game. He knows how to use his body to create angles and find the ball in places that he can score. Good rebounder as well, Kevin.
Yeah, he's good at clearing space to finish inside. You know, he's not shy throwing his weight or even an elbow or two around to get the defense on their heels, to send a message. Now here's Pekovic. Outside Kirilenko. To the inside. Roy against Dudley. Fades away. And Roy puts it in. Roy's got his team on the board to start the game for the Timberwolves.
You know, guys, the Timberwolves improved by leaps and bounds last year, and one way that really showed up was in their improvement against the Western Conference teams. Their record against Western teams much improved over the previous season.
And that one's good.
Great move to get to the bucket and lay that one in. He's got the softest touch around the basket. Impressive.
And Rubio kicks to Love. That's in, coming off an assist from Rubio. Yes, Steve, 19 and 29 for the Wolves against the West for them last season. Clark, not where they want to be, but it was miles ahead of their mark the season before.
Yeah, and the season before they only mustered up 7 wins in 52 games against the West, so anything north of double-digit wins is a big jump.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they'll continue to add to that win total this year, I would think.
And it's Gortat finishing it off.
And not much resistance on that jam.
Yeah, defensively, you're right, not a great sequence.
Well, they lost track of him, and they paid the price.
Roy attacking. An amazing finish with a hand right in his face. Roy's got his second basket. Little over a minute 30 into this first quarter.
There had been talk about Brandon Roy coming out of retirement last season, and that materialized in the offseason. He had several teams interested, but chose to sign with the Timberwolves, and I'm glad to see him back. I hope he can be close to the player he was before the knee trouble saddled.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Alvin Gentry.
We talked about the challenges posed by a player like Ricky Rubio, such a tremendous passer and floor general. Coach said, we know he can make plays, but making shots is where he's been less effective. We need to focus on staying home and forcing him to beat us with his scoring. Guys, we'll see if they can limit his highlight reel dimes. Back to you.
Thanks, Doris.
Oh, ridiculous. Tore it down that time. An open lane right there. Pretty much saw the daylight he wanted and took advantage.
Yeah, great opportunity, and he seized it without much hesitation.
Yeah, a little too easy, if you ask me. The defense really needs to tighten things up here.
That was a nice replay, brought to you by Sprite. And now the Timberwolves on the break. And there's Roy. That's good on the assist by Love. And it's 6 points for Brandon Roy.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it and look to finish the play right there.
Catching up on the changes for Phoenix. Fry comes in for Gortat. And it's Brown in for Luis Scola. Brown, good.
You know, Coach Alvin Gentry has done a nice job in Phoenix maintaining that high-scoring style that they've established over the last decade. He's also made them and kept them respectable defensively. The confidence grows when you start a game as hot as he has.
And he's picking the right shots, guys. I mean, he's making it happen 4 for 4 from the field. It's just taking good shots.
Tell you what, he's not going to win any high jump competition, so it's a good thing he doesn't have to go too far to get to the rim.
I'm not sure he could, or any of us could slip a piece of paper under him when he takes off.
It doesn't matter much, though, Kevin, because he's such a big man. I mean, if he gets positioned, forget about it.
The shot's good from Roy. And Steve, before Alvin Gentry took over, the Suns toyed with the slower pace, but he got them back to running, and he's not looked back.
Yeah, Gentry did an amazing job in Phoenix. when he took over as head coach, and that's why he's still there. He really gained the trust of the players right away. He got back to that style that's really most conducive to that talent. And, now it's going to be interesting. Without Nash, can you still run with Goran Dragic running the point? I think so. But this will be Gentry's biggest challenge now, not being able to rely on one of the great point guards of all time.
Timberwolves leading by 9. Shoots from the elbow. That's good. And it's Ridenour picking up the assist. And that's 13 points for Brandon Roy. And first time out of the game called for Phoenix.
And Phoenix, I thought, was one of the surprise teams in the Western Conference a year ago. And one of the reasons was that they really played well within the conference. I think a lot of people expected them to struggle against that deep Western Conference, but they played well and I think had a much better record than most people predicted.
Gortat's checked in for the Suns. Dragic comes in for Sebastian Telfair. That's good. 15 points for Brandon Roy.
This has all been about him this quarter. I mean, their lead is safe if he keeps up this kind of play.
Phoenix, no good that time either. And you look at how they played last year. They finished 23-25 against the West, which isn't a bad mark by any means for a 500 team.
Yeah, but the Suns know that hovering around 500 overall and against the West really isn't going to cut it, Kevin. I mean, adding depth up front should help them compete against those tough Western Conference forwards.
The Suns shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one. Michael Beasley, he's checked in for the Suns. Dudley comes in for Wesley Johnson. Minnesota also making some changes. Karolinko comes in for Brandon Roy. And Ricky Rubio subbed in for J.J. Barea. Rubio outside. The pass to Love. Gortat's there. Shot clock at 6. Love, Gortat covering from downtown, and Rubio gets it to go on the assist by Love. Love's got 4 assists in the game. And an overpowering first quarter effort already.